Okay, what's up, y'all? So I think it's time to go ahead and nip this little thing right here in the bud. Um, with because I was watching a video and the young lady was saying something to the effect of Christianity is a slave religion. Now that's lacking some common sense within itself. I know it sounds like it makes sense, but let's make it make sense. So the best way for me to make it make sense for y'all is to go ahead and give my testimony. So I'll tell you one thing. When it comes to the Bible, trust me, I was skeptical at one point in my life regarding the Bible. It was a point in my life where I was skeptical. It was a point in my life where I was in New Age spirituality. That's with the crystals, the singing bowls, the tarot cards, all of that, because I was lost and confused and did not know Christ. And I used to say the same thing. Oh, that's a white man religion. Man wrote the Bible, this, that, and the third, lacking the common sense to look to investigate that statement a little bit more. See, the problem is people that have not had an encounter with Christ. You look at the church and you look at people that say they know Christ, and from based on what you have seen, they do not show that they have actually encountered the living God. So that is why you question the validity of what they say they believe in and say, well, it had to be imposed on you. Now, let's bring it back a little bit more. So let's start with the first common sense concept of this thing. Yes, we may be slaves in some type of shape or form because of this government and all that. But besides that, what plantation are we on where people are being forced to read the Bible? Because let me tell you, my testimony. Let me go back to my testimony. Did not one person, when I had a true encounter with Christ, nobody forced the Bible in my hand. Nobody forced me to open it, and nobody forced me to read it. I picked it up. I read it on my own, and I had an encounter with the living God who walked this earth as Jesus Christ at a point in time. Nobody forced me to believe that he is who he says he is. I had an encounter. So that in itself debunks that concept to not make no type of sense. What does slavery have to do in this day and age? We don't have nothing to do with what they forced our ancestors to do. That's like saying, is somebody making you pick cotton right now? No. So what they were made to do does not have nothing to do with us today. So let's make some sense of that first and foremost. Now, when y'all hear that should start to kind of click in your head a little bit. Like, I do understand people that say they are of God, people who say they're Christians and live the complete opposite, and it causes you to question who they say they serve. But that's where you have to begin to do some searching for yourself, and don't go by. That's why you're not supposed to be going by somebody else's walk anyway. You're supposed to be paying attention to the fruits of the Spirit. He said, you shall know them that belong to me by their fruits. So it don't matter what they say they are. It don't matter who they say they are. If them fruits ain't lining up, then you shouldn't even be holding their actions to him, on his account, on God's account. Slavery don't have nothing to do with somebody today picking up a Bible today and having an encounter with Jesus Christ today. Nobody forced me to pick up a Bible and read it. Slavery don't have nothing to do with me picking up a Bible and having an encounter with the living God today. Absolutely nothing. So that statement is so far irrelevant and makes absolutely no sense. Y'all have to stop this. It's deception. It's deception. If you really pay attention to what you're saying. And I've been there, done that. I've been there saying those foolish things at one point in time. Until you actually have an encounter with Christ, it's best to just shh. Even a fool is deemed wise when he keeps his mouth closed until he knows the truth of a matter. Don't judge something that you haven't had up close, hands-on experience with. Because, like I said, it makes no sense to even compare slavery and slave owners forcing their slaves to read the Bible to somebody who is a believer today, that believes in the Bible today. Because for the most part, believers today did not even come into knowing Christ through the church, for the most part, because most people in the church still have not had an encounter with the true and living God, with the Holy Spirit, with Jesus Christ. I don't care if they're in church every Sunday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Friday. I don't care. Half of them still do not know God. So whatever was passed down to them, and those most of the ones that been in the church from generation to generation from slavery time, and if that don't have nothing to do with the people that had a true encounter with God. Those ones, for the most, and I'm not saying nobody in church has had a true encounter with God. Let's be clear on that. I'm just saying, for the most part, what God is doing in his people today, most of us did not encounter the Holy Spirit in a church to even have any connection to anything being passed down to us. He had his own personal encounter with us in a bathroom somewhere, in the living room somewhere, snot crying down a wall somewhere, sitting up in the car, balled up in the car, sleeping in the car somewhere. He met most of us in alleyways, or sitting on the side of a highway, on the park bench. That's where most of those that are filled with the Holy Spirit today was found. Nothing was passed down and forced to us. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Analyze that a little bit more. Y'all know what it is. Y'all will know it.